Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Rees Rose, and I'm here to bring a message to whomever this resonates with. Happy full moon, y'all. Happy full moon in Capricorn. Y'all good? Everybody staying afloat? Ladies, how y'all feeling? Fellas, y'all all right? I hope everybody is doing well, okay? I hope everybody is reflecting, taking the time to pull back and to breathe and to see how far you've came up until this point. Be real with yourself and, be real with yourself and move from that point. What I want to do is, honestly, I think I'm going to start with the tarot because I do have a message in regards to the full moon, and this is before I even pull. But this full moon is in Capricorn, and it is called the buck moon. It's called the buck moon, and it's really funny because I came across a deer yesterday. I came across a buck yesterday, and I can tell it was a buck. But do you know, like, deer, the male deers, the bucks, they go through a shedding phase of their antlers where they lose a set of their antlers. So when they're teens or whenever preteens, I don't know how old they are, especially in deer years, I don't know. But they grow their antlers and then they shed their antlers. And that shedding, the process of that shedding is very painful. I'm hot, sorry. That process of that shedding is very painful, and it's kind of like puberty for deer. Almost, they go through all these things, and it's painful, and it signifies, the becoming of a man in, a deer life. But I find it super interesting how I was just watching the deer, and he looked very, like, uncomfortable, and I can tell, like, wow, you just lost your antlers. Cool. And he was in the process of growing them back. But this buck moon, in relation to Capricorn, Capricorn is a sign that, hardworking, resilient, get things done, very, tedious and organized, and, like, make sure that they see it through, the vision and all that stuff. They make sure they see the end go through. That is the sign of Capricorn. But Capricorn also, on the other side of it, it's like, so whatever restricts a Capricorn from feeling that, it's going to immediately get their attention because they like to do things their way. And if they don't live their way, then you are absolutely, like, that's homicide to a Capricorn. You have to absolutely let them just be free, just stride in the ways that they feel is most comfortable, where they can express themselves, where they can feel and live wholeheartedly, because everything is, like, very intentional, and it has a reason as to why it's going on and it's happening, and it just needs to be, okay, very structured. That is a Capricorn. This is what's going on during this buck moon, okay? So with this buck moon, it's getting your attention in the ways of, like, you're shedding all the things that could absolutely be distractions that are getting in the way of you feeling and living the life that you truly want to live and feel. Because a Capricorn likes structure. A Capricorn needs to see everything and why things are placed there and what's going on. And, like, Capricorns have to have it to where they're comfortable living life because they want to see it through, and I want to be on my terms doing it. I want to be comfortable on my way there. I want to make sure that I'm able to endure this challenge, the marathon, basically, because you know what it takes, you know what it requires. Greatness is lonely at the top. Not a lot of people are doing things at this tier. So you get to a point where you show up for greatness. You're doing a lot. You're doing so much so that you have no choice but to win. That is a Capricorn, okay? So with this buck moon, you're noticing all the things, all the distractions that are getting in the way of you actually getting to that point, okay? And like a buck, shedding those antlers, it's a very painful process. However, it is the very process of becoming, okay? Living out your truest authenticity. If a Capricorn cannot live in their authenticity, that is homicide to a Capricorn. So with this buck moon in Capricorn, it's getting your attention in ways that you're noticing holding you back from truly living life on your terms, in your truth, in your truest authenticity. All right, that's funny. I just saw the devil at the end of the deck. And that is a sign. The sign, well, the tarot card for my fellow Capricorns. All right. Now we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Star. Yeah, they're like, get going, get to moving, get to work. The Seven of Pentacles plus the Three of Pentacles, that's 10 Pentacles. Get to work, okay? Because the Capricorns, they know that they're destined for greatness. They're not going to accept anything else. Capricorns only have a plan A because there's no time for a plan B. Plan A must work. That's a Capricorn. Like, I don't see a plan B, because why would there? What are you talking about, a second plan? I told you the first one. And they're going to absolutely show up. So, like, you know it's going to work. Like, they're just looking at you like, what the hell are you talking about a plan B? What you talking about a backup? What you talking about a safety net? They don't believe in those necessarily. Okay. And they just might, in terms of a Capricorn, how organized they are, they just might have, in case plan A doesn't necessarily work, but it's not even that, because it's like, if in case we have a hurdle in plan A, this is how we pivot so that we still make sure that we see that end goal. Like, the end goal is still going to be reached regardless, okay? So whatever you're striving for, it's like you have no choice but to do it now. Something's clicked inside where you're like, okay, I'm ready to show up. I'm going to stop BSing myself. I'm going to cut off all my distractions. I'm going to make sure I sow those seeds so that I can reap that harvest, okay? So you have Seven of Pentacles that came out first, and then the Star, and then the Three of Pentacles. The Star is what's in you, that healing within you, your light, and what you have to offer the world, okay? The Star, that's your rejuvenation energy, your restoration energy. You're restoring yourself and coming back a lot stronger, more you, more whole. When you do this, you're not letting a big part of yourself go, okay? Death. Wow. Interesting. You're not letting a big part of yourself go. I was going to just say this. So there was a time in my life where I was like, okay, so, you know, I have piercings. My nose is pierced. Like, you know, in the corporate setting, you can't have any of that, okay? Like, it's not crazy. I've seen people, you know, tap their face, and their aesthetic is a lot more, you know, vibrant, or, you know, I wouldn't say vibrant, but a lot more just... I don't know. I don't even know the word I would use for that. Where it's a lot more, let me let it go. But there's a lot going on, okay? Way more colorful hair, shaved on the side, mohawk, spiky mohawk, okay? Body modifications everywhere, tats on the chest. Like, you know, that's what I'm talking about. There are a lot more other people who are just, you know, expressive in that sense. And imagine if you had to let all that go just to fit in as, I don't know, just whatever, in a 9-to-5 or something. You would be losing a huge part of you. If this is how you feel, that you are expressing yourself, that you are living in your truth and you are living in your light, then why would you let that part of you go just to conform to something over here, you know? So I feel as if you're getting that, you're understanding that now. Like I mentioned that with the sign of Capricorn. Like, if you put any type of restrictions or something like that, that is low-key like homicide to a Capricorn. You are losing a huge part of them, and they will feel drained. They will feel depressed. They won't want to show up. It's something about not being in your freedom that a Capricorn kind of hates, which is why everything is structured. Because if you can't do something, you gotta, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. Let me pull one more card, and then I so have to get back to that message. Give me one more second, y'all. Oh, we have the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Lovers. Ashe. We have the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Lovers. So yeah, a lot of you guys may be feeling very emotional with this full moon. A lot of you guys may be feeling super emotional, and it's making you reflect a lot, and you might be weighing on it a lot. I also saw the Four of Swords. You might be sitting down, pondering, meditating on it a lot, okay? I definitely have. But with this Knight of Pentacles and the Lovers, it's like it's just the opportunity for you to find yourself again, okay? You're on a yellow brick road down to yourself. With this Knight of Pentacles, It might take some time. It might be something that you really have to sow the seed and water every single day and truly wait to reap your harvest, which is okay though, because you're truly protected along the way. And I feel like you guys are going to enjoy the process, because what you're supposed to be doing is being present for the process anyway. What's important is the process. You don't want to be so caught up in the end that you're forgetting everything along the way. Okay, so like truly embody that Capricorn energy. Even if you're not in the sign of Capricorn, this full moon just has a theme because it is in the sign of Capricorn. In a couple of days or a couple of hours, I think now, is going to move into the sign of Aquarius, and it's going to be a totally different feeling where we need to work on other things, and other things will be illuminated, etc., etc. Right now, that's why I'm like, you guys are right. Like, there's some type of heaviness. A little bit for some of you guys, because there is a death. There is a part of you that you were destroying, that you were letting go of, that you are no longer resonating with, that you are choosing to heal from and rise above. Okay, so congratulations to all of y'all. Good luck on the seeds that you guys sow. Continue to water after you sow these seeds. I'm still seeing it's a lot of water, okay? So a lot of emotions. A lot of you guys could have cried a lot lately, but let these tears be the very thing that water these seeds. So every time you cry, reflect for a second and be like, okay, how can I stand up now? How can I transmute these tears? How can I transmute these energy? I'm going to use these tears to water my seeds, okay? Because your soil is very rich right now. It is very rich. And you guys are in a favorable position to do this and seek some great results. All right, so see some beautiful results with this Lovers card. You're getting to your highest node, closer to God, the closest that you have been, and you can get closer. You're going to truly embody that Kundalini Jesus Christ energy, okay, when you keep going. So it might be a road, but that is okay, because that is why we are here. That is why we are here. And what a blessing that is, for that to be your lesson on life, for that to be the only thing that you have to worry about right now, is just making sure that you live in your truth and truly embody that. That is a blessing, okay? So good job, you guys. Hold on, and it's just a little rocky grounds right now, but you guys are good, okay? You guys got this. You guys absolutely got this. I love y'all. Bye.